Guys, by now I want to know some do things differently. And of course, you're gonna see the difference now. Throughout this video, me I gonna show you some cute little puss kitten. Because I love cats. Particularly puss. Anything that word that begin with the word P-U-S-S, I love. But please do not get distracted by the cute little puss kitten them. That's una don't take in the words, the wise words and the lessons I'm going to be teaching here this Sunday morning. Please. Because empowerment is free. All you want to do is to take in the knowledge that is being passed on, okay? Also, one quick thing. Anybody who know what the plural of puss is, please write it in the comment section. In Jamaican parlance, what is the plural of puss? Please let me see how much bright people we have here. Most of you know I get wrong bang, but just stop for a minute before you go any further in the video and just write the plural of puss. Anyway, let's get into the video. You know this is a learning channel, just like the advisor. And therefore, whenever there is important knowledge to be passed on, you're going to find it over here because knowledge is power. About 2 or 3 days ago, one of my comrade friends, somebody I know for many years, he called me and he said, you keep praising this government, this current government, on quite a number of things, but you seem to be not giving them credit also for the bad things that they are doing or for the bad outcome of their governance. Because you claim to be an impartial man, yet you have said nothing about the rising housing prices. The price of land and property, the price of real estate, he said, has gone up drastically in the past few years. And even to get somewhere to rent now, the cost is extremely expensive. And you who claim to be a learned man, you have not said anything about that. So I want you to speak on the fact that under the Andrew Holness-led government, people can hardly find nowhere to live because rent gone up sky high and property values gone up sky high. So it's even difficult to buy a piece of land these days. And even the National Housing Trust has confirmed that. And he ended up by saying, I know what I'm talking about because my wife is into real estate. Well, guys, I had to give him some credit. He is right. Everything he said about real estate in Jamaica today is true. And who should take the blame for that? Andrew Holness, I agree. But let us not view this the wrong way. Housing prices were stagnant, and even there was a bit of depreciation under the E.J. Patterson-led government back in the day. That is true. But here is the thing. This is what I said to him. Stagnant or depreciation of real estate is a sign of a stagnant and depreciating economy. And the economy is the lifeblood indicator of the success or failure of a country. The value of real estate depreciates when people start to move away to other country because nothing now going in their own country. So you have an excessive amount of empty property where nobody lives. In other words, the price of real estate is one of the most accurate indications of where an economy stands. And I then took him back to the Michael Manley government in back in the 70s. And I reminded him of the value of houses and real estate at that time when everybody was selling out their houses for little and nothing on a runway because of the state of the Jamaican economy. But at this point, I need to point something out. Michael Manley did not cause the deterioration of the Jamaican economy directly. when he was in charge of this country back in the 80s. It was done by the Central Intelligence Agency in cahoots with the Jamaica Labour Party and controlled by the government of the United States of America. They sabotaged this country and brought it to its knees because Michael Manley decided that he would have friends that the perfect parasite did not like. The thing with me, is that I'm going to give everybody his due. I will not tell lies on anybody or misrepresent any fact or form a narration in a way as to sully anybody's character where they don't deserve, whether PNP or JLP. The truth must always rise to the surface. So, the United States of America strangled Jamaica, strangled the country, because even though they over there preaching democracy, the fact that Jamaican citizens chose, in a democratic way, chose the PNP at that time. America never wanted democracy to happen, because even though the Jamaican people made their choice and chose Michael Manley, they decided, how dare you choose him, and how dare him want to support the liberation movements in Africa and go friend with somebody where we don't like, which is Fidel Castro. And they turn Jamaica into an economic wasteland, not Michael Manley. Anyway, I just had to clear that up. Now, let me move it back to the central issue. The more buoyant an economy is the higher real estate prices will climb. So the climb that you're seeing in the real estate in Jamaica is on account of the buoyant economy and the positive trajectory that the economy is taking. So yes, is Andrew Akar's house prices for rise. And how did he do it? First of all, a lot of people who had moved away from Jamaica because of the bad economic policies, they are now returning. A lot of the people who had run and left Jamaica because of lack of opportunities during the 90s and early 2000s, they see a better Jamaica now and are willing to return and are returning. Now, when these people reach Jamaica, they are going to try to buy real estate. And of course, they need somewhere to live. Now, with this influx of returning residents, what do you think is going to happen? There is going to be a much higher demand for property. And we all know that in a free market situation, once an item, any form of merchandise or commodity is on high demand, prices are going to rise accordingly. Therefore, sir, what you are looking at and seeing it or thinking of it as a failure is not by any means a failure, sir. But the next thing you are going to ask is, or to say is, that this is going to crowd out the minimum wage earners that are currently in the country who won't be able to afford houses, afford places to live, or afford to own property because of the same reality of the higher value for real estate. But sir, let me tell you something. In a buoyant economy, there are many more factors beginning to interplay. First of all, in a buoyant economy, wages will always go up. Because all aspects of the economy is moving, wages will also follow. Not only will wages follow, but the government will have more leeway to subsidize the housing of who have a lower earning capacity. And the government will have all of that earnings because the commerce, the dynamism of the commercial activities within the country, which is pushing up the economy even more. The government will earn enough money to subsidize low-income people because everything follows. It's all connected. When the economy flops, salaries go down, nobody get any raises, people run gone from the country, people have to lower rent because nobody have no money to pay high rent. The government earn less taxes, so they can't pay even their own government staff any more money, want to even cut salary and even kick some people out of government jobs because there's no money to pay them. It's all interconnected. So what you're seeing here with the rise in real estate prices, there will be nobody living out a door more than before, and maybe even less, because the government is going to have more money to do more things. It's all about the economy. The economy that PJ Patterson had ignored wholly and solely and completely for 18 and a half years. So, for those who do not understand how economic growth affect a country's fortune and its future, I think I've now clearly put all these things in perspective. And to show you how serious the current government cares about economic growth, what did it do? It created a specific state apparatus for that purpose. It created the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Now, that is a government that is serious about building country. And I challenge anybody, because I love put my challenge out there. If there is anyone who thinks that I have said anything here which is wrong, come, I'll give you time on this platform to speak with me, explain yourself, bring your counter argument. I will be only too happy to put it out on this channel for the world to see. The thing is that so far, when me talk, nobody want to take up the challenge. Why? And as usual, I'm just keeping it real.